Hello and welcome to another Tycho video. Last night I had the opportunity to take several images of the Lucy spacecraft as it performed a flyby operation. So I wanted to take just a brief moment to share with you what those images look like and also to provide you with a short tutorial on how you can automatically follow an object as it moves across the field of view. Now keep in mind I will be making use of an as yet to be released feature, which is the ability to apply a small offset adjustment to the attached ephemeris information. But other than that, all of the feature set is identical to what is currently available, and this is just simply a feature that will be part of a larger update here in the next week. So stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first step is to load the images that were captured. So I go to List, Add Images, and once I've done that, I then want to do the basic pre-processing routine on these images. So anytime I work with a data set or a set of images, I almost always do these three pre-processing steps of calibrate, plate solve, and alignment. So with that in mind, the first step is to do calibration. So I go to Action, Calibrate Images, and this is just a basic calibration routine. So I'm first going to do flat field correction. So if I had a flat frame, I would use it, but in this case, for these images, I do not. So I just choose Apply Pseudo Flat. And next, I also want to do Fix Hot Pixels. So if there are any hot pixels in this data set, they will be corrected out. And if you want to do any additional calibration options, you're more than welcome to do so. But for now, I'm going to click OK and give it a moment to complete this operation. Now, while it is doing that, just some basic statistics about this data set. There are 76 images. They are each 10 seconds in exposure time. And these images were captured with a 26 megapixel camera operating at bin 2. So it has now completed the calibration step, so the next step is to do plate solving. So I go to Action, Plate Solve Images, and I happen to know that the plate scale of these images is around 12 arcseconds per pixel, so the lower and upper bound of 0.2 and 15 is perfectly acceptable. So I click Start, and as before, give it a moment to complete this operation. And once it has completed plate solving, the next step is to do alignment. So we can now do Action, Align Images, and these are the default settings that I have for alignment. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And if I am going a bit too quickly here, just keep in mind that these steps are also documented in the user guide as well. So by now we have completed calibration, plate solving, and alignment. So this is the basic pre-processing that I almost always do on all of the data sets that I work with. So with that, we can now go to Action, View Images, and you can see what this field of view looks like as I zoom out. So this is a fairly wide field of view. This was captured with a camera lens, 70 square degrees field of view. So you might think, well, a camera lens, that's not a whole lot of aperture. Indeed, this is 65 millimeters of aperture, but for this target, at its distance, it's relatively bright, so it works out acceptably. And the next thing I can do is to scroll through the images to see if we see the object. And sure enough, there it is. You can see an object moving through the field of view here. So if I zoom in a bit more, you might see it better. So here's the object of interest. And you might think, well, that's nice. Could we then automatically follow this object? Could we have a way to animate the frames and have it stay centered in the crosshairs? So one way to do that is to attach ephemeris information to the data set. So I can go to ephemeris attach from JPL Horizons. Now you might say, well, if I were working with an asteroid or comet, I could give it the number, name, or designation. But in this case, this is a spacecraft, and it falls under the umbrella of major body. So in order for this to work, you have to know the identifier of this object. So we do a search, major body lookup, and I happen to know that the name of the object is Lucy. So I type that in here, and the first result is what I want. So I can right click and choose Apply Target ID. And all that does is it copies the identifier here into this edit box. So this is the target ID field here. And I already did this previously, that's why you didn't see any change. It was already set correctly to -49, which is the identifier for this particular object. So now that we've done that,
I can choose ephemeris attached to dataset. So it now makes the request, says, okay, give me the ephemeris for this object, and now it has populated that in the set of images here. So again, what this allows us to do is anytime we click on an image, it will now automatically center the object in the crosshairs. So as I scroll through the images, you can see that the object is following the crosshairs. Now you might say, well, that's nice, but it's not quite centered. And the reason for that is that the ephemeris is not quite 100% correct, but that's perfectly fine. We can make an adjustment. So if I double click on the object, I can then say, okay, ephemeris apply offset from crosshairs. So this is a way of saying, okay, we need to make a small adjustment here. Now once I've done that, then you'll notice that the object now remains centered in the crosshairs. And what that finally allows us to do is, if we want to, we can do an animation. So I can choose animate 50 milliseconds. And now you see it is automatically scrolling through the list of images and keeping the object centered in the crosshairs. So that's about it for this video. I want to thank you for watching and see you next time.